All right, everyone. This is Devon Bell, CEO and founder of Global Currencies, and today, what I want to do is show you guys how we trade, and you know, show you how to double your accounts overnight. Now, I'm not guaranteeing that. This isn't just some Forex strategy that's out there. This is real information, real data that we use. So we can see here. We're looking at the USD. Um, on Thursday, unemployment claims usually come out, and we can see the results from that, the impact that it's going to have on the market and the currency itself. It's a high impact news release. All right, so we're going to use that to our advantage, and you can see we have some other data as well, not as high of an impact, but we can see that there's going to be a lot of volatility today. U.S. crude oil inventories is huge because it not only affects the U.S. dollar, but it also affects the Canadian dollar as well, right? So just take note of today, December 29th, right? So over here in our daily analysis, 7 hours ago, U.S. Canadian dollar was actually a buy signal. And, based on the MACD and a few other indications, technical analysis is telling us that it's a buy, as well as crude oil being a buy, right? So, and crude oil was a buy 14 hours ago, right? So y'all should have gotten that alert in your messenger app, and if you haven't placed a trade already, this is why. Basically, the number of crude oil barrels available. This is the report, and it's based on the previous weeks, published 4 days after the end of the reference week. And like I said, although it represents data here in the U.S., it has a greater impact on the Canadian dollar due to the considerable size of the energy sector in Canada. So, with the U.S. being the center for all, oil transactions on the planet, meaning that no matter what country you're in, you have to convert your currency into the U.S. dollar in order to buy or exchange, trade oil. That's just how it is. It's just, that's just how it goes. So when this crude oil inventory report comes out, not only is it going to have a direct impact on the market now, meaning, investors are going to take advantage of this opportunity as well. Right now, looking at some of the Canadian pairs, we can see that the Canadian dollar is actually on a decline today, right? So, with that, all we're looking for is that confirmation, because even though, the Canadian dollar is showing weakness today, we want to verify that the U.S. dollar is going to show signs of strength, right? Because with that, that's a complete buy signal, right? In order to buy the U.S. Canadian dollar, the dollar has to be rising while the Canadian dollar has to be weakening, right? If they're both gaining value at the same time, there's going to be consolidation. If they're both losing value at the same time, there's going to be consolidation. So you want that split, right? If the dollar is weakening and the Canadian dollar is strengthening, you'd be selling the UCAD, right? That's how currencies are traded. The first currency is your base currency, and so in this case, we're looking to buy the U.S. dollars while simultaneously selling Canadian dollars. So, even though it says U.S. markets falling for second consecutive session, this is a report that the Wall Street Journal has had. We still enter the buy, right? We literally just entered the market right here. This is the 15-minute chart, and you can see it did fall below our entry. Went in on a 0.03, which this account's only $20. This isn't like a heavy, established trading account. This is a brand new trading account that I did just for the purposes of the following videos and presentations, because a lot of people, they don't think that you can trade based off of RSI and news. Well, to be honest, if you want to win 100% of your trades, I suggest you start doing that. We don't even need RSI, but it's a better visual confirmation, and it's going to give us like a clear indication of when to get out of the market, right? So yeah, literally moments ago, this trade was placed, ladies and gentlemen, and you can already see we're, sort of profiting now. It's falling back a little bit, but RSI says it's a buy. But we're not basing our trades solely off of RSI. We never base our trades solely off of one indicator. The news is the indicator, right? Anything else just tells us, a little bit more of when to place that trade. If we would have placed that trade, 7 hours ago, then, we would have been experiencing a little bit more drawdown. But as we can see here, that news release just came out. So now, we can expect more people, more investors, more traders to take advantage of this information. And so we should see a spike here in a second. Now, this is a 0.03 on not even a $20 account, right? So, even though it looks like, okay, 78 cents, 80 cents in profit, calculate the percentage of that, right? Because really, honestly, I could close this trade right now and, be successful for the day. But this trade is just, it's just now beginning. Now we do have our EMA as well. This is our exponential moving average, the 200. And, we're pretty far away from the average movement of this currency, which means that we can expect it to at least get back to the average, if not surpass it, right? So we're going to go ahead and add Brent and crude oil to our charts, and we're going to see what, and as expected, right? If you would have bought in 7 hours ago on crude oil, you'd be making money right now, right? Like, you would be profiting. You could have entered on West Texas crude, or you could have entered on Brent. But, so here we can see that crude oil actually has a direct correlation on the US dollar. Like I said, it's the center for all oil transactions on the globe, as well as the Canadian dollar. It impacts the Canadian dollar because, as I stated before, that sector in Canada is, they rely heavily on oil. So, obviously, if there's more volatility, more people are buying oil prices are going up in the U.S. That means in the U.S. we're making more money. Well, not necessarily making more money, but since more people have to convert their currency into the U.S. dollar, it creates a spike. Now, a lot of people, they get confused. They think this spike, the dollar's going to keep going up forever. That's not the case. It's temporary, right? But with the price of oil being higher, that means Canada, with their growing economy, that means that they're going to have to pay greater prices for that oil. You see what I'm saying? So when they have to pay greater prices, of course the value of their currency is going to go down. Right? That's just the basics of economics. If you buy a product, good or service at, a higher price, you have less. And that was just to show you, kind of the time, the date of everything. And, it's only been a couple of minutes and we're already catching pips. We're already seeing movement. a lot of people for a $17 account would have been 0.01s. Matter of fact, a lot of people, they place 0.01s for every $1,000 in their account. Right now, that's if you're 50 to 1 leveraged, as required by U.S. regulation with U.S. brokers here in the U.S. But if you have a unlicensed, unregulated broker that allows U.S. clients, you can trade using 1,001, 3,001 leverage. Right now, this isn't a demo account. Like I said, even though it's only $17, it's a live account. This is a live account that I've built up from $5. Right, so $5 placing 0.01s, but now that I'm up to 3 times the amount, went ahead and placed a 0.03. And this is how I was able to build an account 50,000% in 6 months. All right, and the same, through our services, I was able to not only grow my own account, but other people's accounts 2,500% in 2 weeks. Okay, so thank you for watching this video. I hope you learned a lot. This is information that you're not going to find out there, because the market is just saturated with a bunch of retail Forex trading information that the brokerage will supply, because at the end of the day, the more money you lose, the more money your broker is going to make, right? That's just how it works. Now, at the same time, they're going to make money if you're making money, because they charge you commission. But if you're losing money, they're making money on both sides. So do not let that fool you. This is real data, real news. This is how I trade. I use real information. I don't just use, the crossing of the EMAs, just a breakout strategy. I don't use those strategies, right? I necessarily wouldn't even call this a strategy, but at the same time it is, because that's how I trade. But it's not like any strategy that you will find on the retail side of things, right? If you want to trade like a fund manager, you have to learn to trade like a fund manager. And they don't use EAs, the robots. They don't fill their charts up with 50 indicators, right? Like I said, I don't even need to use RSI or the EMA. That just gives me a better indication of when to precisely enter the market. And in that video, you saw the little drawdown that was experienced. So really and truly, I could have placed a 0.05, but I wanted to play a little bit more safe. I could have went even higher, right? Instead of entering the market 7 hours ago, which you could have, this trade is still going to go up, right? You could have entered 7 hours ago, or you could have, done your own analysis, saw that, in the dashboard. All right, we have this report coming out, and literally as soon as that report came out, go back to the time, as soon as 10 a.m. hit, what happened to the market, right? So go back, watch this video a few times, and get back with me. Again, this is Devon Bell, CEO and founder of Global Currenciez, and I'm going to teach you how to be a successful trader.